In the 1850s and 60s, this was a very busy commercial harbor. A lot of lumber was brought down from Michigan and stored here, put on railroad cars and sent all over the Midwest. And there was a lot of other supplies that were brought by ship. This is the only lighthouse in Indiana. This building was built in the 1850s, 1858. The light you see at the top was the light for the harbor here. Now, some people say, well, there's other lighthouses in Indiana, but to be a lighthouse, the lighthouse keepers had to live where the lighthouse was. And the light was here, and the lighthouse keepers lived here. We now have a light at the end of our pier, and everyone calls it a lighthouse, but technically it's a pierhead light because no one could live there. It's an empty tin can with a light on top of it. So this is the only lighthouse in Indiana, and we've preserved it. It's owned by the city of Michigan City, and the Michigan City Historical Society owns the contents inside. Welcome to the old Lighthouse Museum. This is a Fresnel lens that you would find in any lighthouse. It is a fourth order developed by a Frenchman in the 1830s. He was commissioned by the French government to increase the light of a lighthouse. Now, this is not a light you'd use in a lighthouse, but if you look inside, see how small our bulb is? If you step back, you can see how it expanded. Put a large light in there and it would shine 8 or 10 miles out into the lake. Every lighthouse in the world has this shape of Fresnel lens. The largest ones on the ocean you can actually walk into. First one was built in the 1840s, and it was just a wood building, and it survived 1 year, but the second year it was blown down during a gale in the winter. So they built in 1858 the stone structure you see here. And the light was here until 1904. In 1904 they had built the pier here in Michigan City, the cement pier, and they had put a pier headlight there, and the light was moved from here out to the end of the pier. And then from then on, this was used as a home for the lighthouse keepers, but they would have to walk out to the pier headlight. The most famous lighthouse keeper in this particular building was a woman. Her name was Harriet Colfax. She ran this place from 1861 at the start of the Civil War till 1904. She was responsible for the light at the very top. Then also at the mouth of the harbor here, there was a small wooden pier with a post and a lantern. She'd have to walk out and light that lantern and then walk back, row across to the other side, and on another small pier, walk out and light another lantern. So at night, if a ship came in, they would know where the opening was for the pier. She was responsible for those 3 lights. If during the night any 3 of those were burned out, washed out, blown out, she had to go out and relight them. In 1904, they moved the light from here out to the end of the pier. And she was 80, and she decided it was time to retire. She's the longest serving lighthouse keeper, male or female, in one spot. And she was here for 43 years. She was an amazing lady. The old Lighthouse Museum was the home for lighthouse keepers from 1904 until late 1930s, early 41 or 42 during World War II. The Coast Guard took it over, and the lighthouse keepers were let go. And it sat empty for 40s, the 50s. When I was growing up, it was an empty building. And finally, the city took it over, and the Michigan City Historical Society was given permission to create a museum on the inside. Now, it was in terrible shape. It took about 7 or 8 years to finally get it ready to be used as a museum. It was in 1973 when they finally were able to open it up. And right now we're celebrating our 50th anniversary as a museum. This is what we call the navigation room. Many of the lights you would find in a harbor and on boats and different equipment that is on ships are listed here. Also, we have pictures of what the harbor looked like about 1900 when it was a busy commercial harbor. Over here is a display case about Washington Park. It was an amusement park about 1900. We had sometimes as many as 10,000 people. This we call the shipwreck room. This is a map of all the wrecks at this end of Lake Michigan. This is Michigan City here. Chicago's over here. You'll notice there are a lot of them right here. And that's because Lake Michigan at this end has a lot of sandbars. These are a lot of the artifacts that were picked up. Most of it is metal because the wood does disappear. Here's a painting of a famous sand dune. It was called Hoosier Slide. Here's some photographs of it. It was over 200 feet tall. It's not there anymore. A sand company bought it and they hauled all the sand down to Muncie to make the ball canning jars. Here is the actual lens that was in this building and later moved out to the pier. It's very unusual because of the copper plate on one side, because the light would shine 8 or 10 miles out in the lake, and it also would shine 8 or 10 miles into Michigan City. And the people at this end of town couldn't sleep at night because that light was burning all night. We have recreated a bedroom and a parlor the way it would look about 1900 when Harriet lived here. This would be the parlor. This would be the stove that heats the area. We have books that they could read at night. You can use a stereopticon. Also, we have a pump organ that still plays. Here is a bedroom, a very old sewing machine, some dowels, a bed with a straw mattress, and rope springs, if you want to call them springs. We'll go up to where the actual light was that Harry lit for 43 years. We are now where Harriet would have had her light, the Fresnel lens here, and she would light it at night. Now where the spiral staircase is for 43 years, she had a straight ladder she climbed every night. One of our mottos up here in this part of Indiana is there's more than corn in Indiana, because we have beautiful sand dunes, a national park, a state park, the old Lighthouse Museum. Again, this is the only lighthouse in Indiana, so we tell people who tour they visited all the lighthouses right now if they come here. It was made in 1858, and it's a part of Michigan City history.